Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Carly and I'm behind on my reading wrap up. So today we're doing May and June. Let's get started. So as I said, I'm behind on my reading updates. I didn't do a video for May, so I'm combining May and June. It's not very long. I haven't read that much. I've been in a little bit of a slump and went on my honeymoon and everything and didn't read really there. We'll get into that in a minute, but it's time to update you all on what I've been reading. I read 4 books in May and 2 in June. I really wanted to squeeze one more in there, but I didn't get to it, so it's all good. I read 1 physical book and the rest were on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited. And the one physical book that I did read was my book of the month pick for May. Okay, so the first book I read in May was The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey. I know I'm saying this in every video, but I'm not sure if I'm saying that name correctly or not. Forgive me if I am not. But I really like this book. I gave it 5 stars. And again, this was on Kindle Unlimited. So basically, this story is about a serial killer who has abducted 6 teens in the area, and it starts out with one of them escaping and going back home, and he identifies the person that abducted him as a teacher from his school. So you kind of think the case is closed, and then comes one of the dads of somebody that was killed, and he's a defense attorney and he wants to defend the teacher, and the whole thing is being told by this psychiatrist that caters to serial killers. It's just a big web of different things going on and different stories, and you don't know what to believe. So I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, I did give that one 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Tenant by Frida McFadden. Again, this one is also on Kindle Unlimited. I gave this one 5 stars as well. I really like Frida McFadden. I've said this in my other videos, but they're just quick, easy thrillers to read if you're looking for something to get out of a slump. So this is her most recent release that just came out, I believe, in May. So the premise of the book is that this guy is engaged. He thinks he has it all together. He has this big fancy job, and they just got this new brownstone in New York, and he gets fired from his job. You never really figure out why he was fired. It just says that he was corrupt, but he says he wasn't, yada, yada, yada. And they are low on money, and they put the room up in their brownstone for rent for a tenant. And in comes this girl who seems great compared to the other applicants, and then things start to go awry. He starts to notice a smell, like a rotting smell. His neighbors start treating him a little weirdly. And then, of course, he tries to tell this to his fiance and stuff, and she's just kind of brushing it off. There's a really good twist in this one that I didn't see coming, so that's all I'm going to say about that one. But again, I did give that one 5 stars as well. The next book that I read was the only physical copy that I picked up in these 2 months. And this is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. Now, I will recommend the documentary before or after you read this book. I don't think you need to do one or the other in a certain order, but I think this is a very interesting story. Sherry Frankie is the daughter of YouTuber Ruby Frankie, who was a mommy vlogger. And if you don't know much about this story, like I said, I would highly recommend looking it up. There is a documentary on it. And this book, written from her perspective, shares a lot of the same things in the documentary, but just a little bit more. So like I said, you can do one or the other. It doesn't matter which order you do them in. I watched the documentary first and then read the book because I was so intrigued. So just look up trigger warnings before you watch it. But essentially, the mom takes the vlogging too far. She gets roped in with this woman who starts to change their family dynamic drastically. And I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say they're both in jail now. So very, very interesting. It's really sad, honestly, and again, not for the faint of heart if you are into that kind of thing. So again, look up trigger warnings before, but I did really enjoy this whole story, and I want to go back and rewatch the documentary after reading her book because it was so interesting. I gave that one 5 stars. Lots of 5 stars in May. The last book I read in May was called Ask for Andrea, and I don't know how to pronounce the author's name, so I'm just going to leave it at that because you'll be able to find it if you look it up. It is on Kindle Unlimited, and I gave this one 4 stars. I did really enjoy it, but there was just some aspects of it that I didn't quite love like the other ones. So this book is about 3 different women that were murdered by the same guy, and it's told from each of their perspectives, and they all happen at different times. But the cool twist on this one is that they're already dead, and it takes you through them being captured and killed, and then their perspective of realizing that they're dead, and they kind of follow different people around, their families, the murderer, the police, and things like that. And then they all end up finding each other and realizing that they're all dead and that they all were killed by the same man. So it's different and interesting. Again, there were some things I didn't really love about it, but all in all, I thought it was a cool twist and just a little bit unique. So I gave that one 4 stars. Now on to June. So we were on our honeymoon the last day of May through the first week of June. So I did take my Kindle. I didn't know if I was going to read on the plane, during travel, whatever. I did start a book on the plane on the way over, but I didn't read much of it. I did enjoy it, but I just didn't pick it up again while we were on our trip. And then on the way back, I actually read it through our whole flight. So I am one to sleep on a flight. Like, I don't take sleeping pills or anything like that. I'm just a huge rester, a huge napper. So I don't know if there's ever been a time where I didn't sleep during a flight or a trip or something. And this is the only time that I stayed awake the whole time that I can remember and actually read a book. So I started the book, like I said, on the way there, didn't pick it up again until our flight back, and read the whole 8-hour flight almost, and almost finished it. I didn't finish it. I'm a pretty slow reader. Somebody could probably sit down and read this book in way less time, but I, again, am just not very quick with reading. But I was so intrigued. There were a few times I even put the book down to like nap or just rest my eyes, and I ended up picking it right back up. So, and this book was You Killed Me First by John Mars. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was so different, such a different take on a thriller, and just really kept me interested the whole time. So basically it is about 3 women told from 3 different perspectives, and they're all neighbors, and they're pretty catty. One of them is just kind of go with the flow, like I'm your friend, blah, blah, blah. And the other 2 kind of butt heads. And you can tell that they're trying to one-up each other, trying to get the upper hand, all this stuff. But they all have their own little secrets. The one used to be a pop star, kind of in like a Spice Girls kind of group, and she loses her career, and you don't really find out why until later. She's married to somebody that she met while she was famous, and she can't really get a job anymore. And then again, you find all that out later. And then the girl that moved in, that butts heads with her, she and her husband do OnlyFans, and that's a secret that they're keeping. And then there's a bigger secret that the other girl is keeping. And it is just so interesting. And the whole time while you're reading these different perspectives, they'll sneak in chapters about somebody's mind. And basically what's happening is they're killing people, and once they kill somebody, the person they kill enters their mind and is like speaking for them and telling them to do things. So it's just so interesting. I can't really explain it more than that. I just really enjoyed it, and of course I gave it 5 stars. And that one is on Kindle Unlimited as well. Then the final book of these 2 months that I read was The Butterfly Garden. So I was looking again for a thriller on Kindle Unlimited, something good. I saw people raving about this on TikTok. It is an older book. It's by Dot Hutchison. I forgot to say that. Again, I would definitely look up trigger warnings before you read this book. It was honestly a little too dark for me. I don't really have anything that triggers me necessarily, but there are some things I just don't really want to read about. And this one, I finished it and I got through it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So I rated it 3 stars. But a lot of people loved it, and one of my good friends really, really liked it. So again, just look up the trigger warnings before you read it. But it's about a man that kidnaps young women and keeps them in this garden and tattoos butterfly wings on their backs when he captures them. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that, because I really can't say much else without giving the whole plot away. But it's good. I just don't prefer those kinds of books. So, like I said, I gave that one 3 stars. Now, it is July 2nd. I did try to fit in one more book, which was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I didn't finish it, but I'm still reading. So that'll be in the next video, of course. And then for my book of the month picks for June, I actually skipped June because I have way too many books that I need to read, and none of them were really sticking out to me. So I just skipped it. I also haven't picked my book for this month yet. I'm debating on whether I want to skip just because I have so many. But I will update you on that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please, as always, leave your book recs in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video.